Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first and foremost, I just want to let you guys know, for all of those individuals out there that have been asking me where do I store my XDC, I have officially announced my partnership with DCENT Wallets. They do support XDC. They also support XRP, HBAR, and a ton of other tokens as well if you guys want to go check them out. And for the lifelong partnership with them, you guys can get single packs as well as the 2x pack at a $30 to $100 discount. That is right. If you purchase the double package, you save almost $100. You save $99 exact, so it's basically $100. And then the single pack, you save $30 if you utilize my links. They will be down in the description below as well as in the comments below. You guys are more than welcome to go check them out. This is where I personally store my XDC, and also for anybody out there that does want me to do a tutorial on how to utilize a DCENT wallet and how to store your XDC, comment down below as well as hit that like button, as it does kind of help me, kind of see the demand for that video, and if you guys do want to see me make that video. So with all of that in mind, let's move on and let's talk about a few things. So ICC. We've been paying attention to ICC for a while, and this is from the ICC India account. We do see very stimulating discussion going on at ICC India, trade facilitation, roles, and digitization in Mumbai, featuring experts as they share learnings and advice in trade and trade finance, specifically Incoterms 2020 document checking and LC transactions and digitization. Now, pay attention to the terminology. Whenever you see digitization, I really kind of just think about the main player here, which is Xinfin with XDC. It's all really kind of focused on tokenization and digitization within trade finance. And we do see, they're talking about a few things within this, and they're really just kind of talking about like issuing banks and stuff like that within trade finance. But then we also had this from ICC as well. This just got posted 2 days ago. And it says the digitization of trade is inevitable. The only question is, how can we do it universally? And they are talking about the 16 million bills of lading were issued. Less than 1% were electronic. We talked about this post in an earlier video, but this is another post by them that is a newer post. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the solution. So first off, we do see here the case for change. The ICC was developed to embed the seamless, digitization of processes throughout the global trading system, supported by Asian Development Bank and the Singapore government, to help solve for the key barriers hindering trade digitization. We're going to be checking out this DSI, by the way. It really kind of talks about some trade-related processes. But we do see down here outdated regulatory environments for businesses to use hard copy documents, siloed and incompatible digital systems hindered widespread digital adoption, and then lack of universal standards leads to fractured trade processes. And they do mention a few things down here that you guys can check out if you wanted to, but for the sake of the video, I'm not going to go too in depth on this. And we do see the ICC Digital Standards Initiative (DSI), based in Singapore, operates in accordance with the management standards of ICC and under the guidance of governance board comprising policymakers from governments and international organizations, including the government of Singapore, Asian Development Bank, World Trade Organization, and also World Customs Organization. And down here, strategy and core principles, reuse rather than recreate. The ICC Digital Standards Initiative advocates for adoption of existing standards when viable, engage standard-setting bodies, consider all approaches accessible to all, and then enhance capacity. And then down here, excuse me, the ICC Digital Standards Initiative strategy is to unify digital standards efforts across alliance groups, industry forums, standards organizations, companies, and countries, spearhead and advocate for adoption of UNCITRAL MLETR, which again we kind of talked about a little bit. Like, that is a huge area of focus around Xinfin and XDC. And then overcome the interoperable rulebook challenges, which again could be done through digitization with digital assets. Enable the trade standards landscape as well through digitization of trade-related processes, and then expand standards. And here we have a few names that are, assigned to the board. Nothing too substantial there. But what I do want to talk to you guys about is this DSI. So they have a full-on PDF file for this. It's Digital Trade Standards and Simplified Trade Systems. This is all from the ICC DSI. And then down here, we do see a few of the major, companies that are represented by them. More than 45 million companies in over 45 million companies in over 100 countries. And they do talk about SMEs here. Our members include many of the world's leading companies, SMEs, businesses, associations, as well as local chambers of commerce. And why do I mention SMEs? Because that's the focus point of Xinfin. But we do see a few things down here. The ICC DSI will work towards the ambitious aim of establishing a globally harmonized, digitized trade environment. Again, focus on digitization here. He challenges lack of coherent standards for developers, executives, and policymakers. Platform rulebook that hinder cross-platform title document exchange and utilization. Insufficient standards to simplify blockchain and non-blockchain-based integration. Legal uncertainty regarding the acceptance of digital trade documentation. Unclear requirements for foundational trade standards as well. And then down here we do see a few of the players. So here is the private names that are assigned to this, like Swift, ISO, stuff like that. Then we do see like public, United Nations, UNCITRAL, World Customs Organization, World Trade Organization, and then UNECE. I always kind of mess up this because it's UNECE, but it's all good. Engaging stakeholders through industry advisory board as well, and then they kind of do break down a few things behind this within B2B and B2G processes, as well as a few other ones here as well. And then down here, we do see members of the Industry Advisory Board. Now, this is where things kind of get interesting because if you guys paid attention to the Porto conference, a lot of these names were there, like Santander, HSBC, JP Morgan, and a few other ones as well. And a lot of these major names, like the BIS and even Swift, etc., have all called for digitization of some of the trade finance workflows. By the way, DBS is already a major name within crypto. They are already kind of partnered with Hedera, but they are all ready for digitization, in my opinion. And then down here, we do see jurisdictions that adopted UNCITRAL model law on electronic transferable records, MLETR. You do see Bahrain, Singapore, ADGM, which by the way, ADGM, like Xinfin, has already made their name known there. Then a few other ones as well. And then we do see down here jurisdictions considering alignment, MLETR adoption or consistency, G7, United Kingdom, Thailand, Trinidad, and Tobago. And yeah, I mean, like when we really kind of look at this, this is going to be pushing Xinfin into trade finance, because this is going to be really kind of enabling and you actually do see up here, like enabling the legal use of electronic transferable records, bills of lading, bills of exchange, promissory notes, and even warehouse receipts, both domestically and across borders. And I'm actually surprised to not see Lloyd's up here, because Lloyd's just did a major test with promissory notes, as a matter of fact. And then down here, 5 foundational pillars for execution of the DSI program. They do kind of go hand in hand here. They do mention ESG reporting and stuff like that, trade finance. They do kind of mention a lot of things around, this sector and what we are seeing kind of being disrupted. And they do mention a few other things as well. Really kind of just talking about the private sector, the public sector, and even like all stakeholders as well. Really talking about what could be disrupted within this. And then down here, we do see how this translates to the 5-year plan for the DSI program. So here's what I really wanted to talk about. So currently, we are seeing a major push behind trade finance to be digitized, which, I mean, I'm sure that a lot of you are all aware of. But then we do see this 2026 ambition. So we are on deliverables right now in 2022, but standards utilization improve, solutions leverage foundational standards for trade-related data and processes, MLAT adoption and prominent trade routes, functional equivalents for electronic records to their physical counterparts enabled in a minimum of 15 additional countries, global rules for digital enabled. This is all talking about like global trade processes to be digitized, and then we do see dematerialization through digitization, which with Xinfin with tokenization could ultimately disrupt that core, and then end-to-end connectivity, efficient and trusted exchanges of information between ports, carriers, banks, border agencies, importers, and even exporters. So they do have an ambitious outlook here, but this is all talking about trade digitization. And also within this, I do just want to share with you guys a few things. So UK banks, like the UK is ready for digitization of trade finance, because currently right now there's a lot of issues stifling innovation there. But first off, UK banks suffering due to lackluster sustainable trade finance. 90% of UK banks and 56% of Swiss banks have lost business in the trade finance industry due to lack of decarbonization financing terms, according to research from Polestar. Listen, the reason why we're going to see streamlined adoption of digitization use cases within this market, specifically around like Xinfin, XDC, XLM, XRP, etc., is because a lot of these banks are running into a wall. They have issues here. Banks are falling behind on sustainability and carbon emission reductions, as you guys do see there. So when we really kind of look at this, how could they ultimately adopt and fully get ahead of the curve? By utilizing something with XDC, with trade tech, tokenizing all their digital trade processes would dramatically increase not only sustainability, but decrease environmental impacts around trade finance. And 90% of UK banks and 56% of Swiss banks are, falling behind here. This is huge. This is a huge focus point as well. And we do see down here, like, I think future platforms will incorporate all of the fundamentals that all the banks and corporates need. And a big part of that will be around digitization, payments, trade, speed, automation, and sustainability. The funny thing about this is that these key principles here is everything that trade tech is focused on. This is a huge opportunity. And I do believe that all of trade will be fully, disrupted here. And we do see like the transition needs to be phased over immediate pain points. There's quite a lot of regulation that applies to this area. Those regulations are going to be critical. Making changes is just one way of making people react. Sometimes this has a magical effect on certain companies and industries. I would argue that right now, they do want to adopt this technology, but we do see the issue down here. Technology is not the issue. Adoption is the issue. If we get to the point where we work with many of these big actors and players and take them route to transition, and they can implement on a stage-by-stage basis, that's how you get to the end goal. And I do think that this is the big issue stifling innovation currently around these markets. I mean, honestly, when you read this article from, this is from Trade Finance Talks. This is with, a few discussions around like SME Finance, the lifeblood of global trade, improving financial inclusion for SMEs. Like, this is what I'm focused on, because like SMEs are huge within trade finance. And how do you fully disrupt trade finance globally, even in like areas like the UK, and like you see all of the areas down here. Like, these are the big areas like the G20. SMEs account for 90% of the global economy. So disrupting SMEs is the door that opens massive amounts of volume and value for a full-on disruption from the core within digitization. And why do I bring this up? Well, we kind of go back in time, right, to 2020. This is from Xinfin XDC Hybrid Blockchain Network on Medium. Alternative finance, new opportunities with tokenization and digital assets. And we do see, with alternative finance expanding rapidly thanks to new originators and technologies entering the SME finance space, there's bound to be radical transformations in the market. As new SME financing platforms emerge, tokenization and distributed finance, DeFi, I think that they meant to say decentralized finance, not distributed finance, will enable organizations to tap into new and unconventional liquidity sources, top among them retail investors. Down here we do see WOA, World of Open Account, and you do see Andre Kasserman there. And this is alternative finance, tokenization, and digital assets. And again, this is going back to 2020, by the way. And they always had a focus point for SMEs, but we do see tokenization, digital assets, and Xinfin network. On the webcast, Xinfin's co-founder explains that the Xinfin is a liquidity network that allows MSMEs and financial originators to access decentralized liquidity pools. And we even do see, like, at the same time, the webcast expounds on what drives liquidity in the trade finance market. Invoices play an important role in driving liquidity in the supply chain, with more than 36 billion invoices sent between SMS. It's very hard to say this very fast. MSMEs and other corporations. Invoices play an important role in the transfer of liquidity within the trade finance space. What's more, the webcast highlights the role of bills of exchange or drafts and letters of credit in driving liquidity within the global supply chain. Notably, letters of credit account for more than $17 billion of the global trade value. The total value of global trade is roughly about $17 trillion. Now it's like $19 trillion, much of which comes from the global banking market. And when we look at this, like, there's a large amount of money to be fully disrupted here. And the XDC system allows offline signing of the documents by counterparties who record an obligation for legal purposes. To clarify, counterparties can contest the obligations therein in jurisdictions like Abu Dhabi and also Singapore, which again at this time like Xinfin was disrupting. And they're just talking about like trade Phoenix here. Since then, a lot of things have happened like around trade tech and stuff like that. But I just bring this up because for the longest time, they have been looking at SMEs. They have been trying to disrupt the SME market around trade finance because it is a huge opportunity. Like anybody who is disrupting SMEs is going to win because they are, being stifled in regards to like adoption as well as like digitization. So when we look here, like the opportunity here for XDC and Xinfin is astronomical. And digitization is going to be the driving force, and we do see even like here, digitization is accelerating the development of infrastructure and fintech products and services that SMEs stand to benefit from. And the introduction and the diffusion of new digital products and services for all businesses is the agenda of B20. And yeah, like this is huge. I do believe that in like the next 3 to 5 years around trade finance, like Xinfin is going to be the giant here. And also, last but not least, one last thing before I sign off. There's going to be a huge conference in Dubai. We do see here from Andre Kasserman. Let's go to Dubai. I'm looking forward to join the ITFA Middle East Community MERC on Thursday, September 29th, where we will debate the progress achieved on the most collaborative innovations in trade finance. I guarantee you that Xinfin will come up in that conversation. Because right now, the biggest innovation in trade finance is Xinfin with XDC, with Trade Tech, and Trade Phoenix. Because they're tokenizing every single physical bill, every single physical document. This is a huge area of focus. Pay attention to the ICC. They know exactly what's there to be disrupted. We all know what's there to be disrupted. There's $19 trillion. There's a 1.7, I think it's like 1.8 trillion now, gap that needs to be quarterly disrupted. And I am very excited for this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day. Beautiful night. If you guys are on this before, that's been Nick. Peace out, guys.